Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's wonderful to see you all tonight and for us to reunite and do the lifelong learning scholar lectures again. So, thank you. I know, we had a brief pause, but we're thrilled to restart the program. And we have one scheduled in February with Winston Scott, another in March. And please go to the website to get more information, and I'm happy to continue to send emails. And if there's anyone who you know or would like to invite, share the email with me and I'll add them to the invite list. I also want to thank all of you loyal attendees who have supported Lifelong through the years. I appreciate you. And I also want to give a warm welcome to those who it's your first time, and thank you, welcome for joining us. So tonight's talk is titled Resilient Solutions for Protecting Our Biospheric Universe. And our speaker, many of you know, Dr. Clifford Bragdon, an esteemed academician, research, and consultant specializing in urban planning, intramodal transport, cybersecurity, resilience, simulations, environmental health, and sustainability. Over his 50-year career, he has held many prestigious academic positions at institutions such as Georgia Tech, Emory University, Florida Tech, Florida Atlantic University, Dowling College, National Aviation Transportation Center. I'm so excited that you are kicking off our lectures, and we will be recording the lecture tonight and sharing it on the website so you can share with your friends. So with that, further ado, I turn it over to our speaker, Dr. Cliff Bragdon.
Okay, that's fair. Perfect. Thank you very much. I know we've had some snow and we have other conditions, but this is going to be fun tonight, and I think everybody will enjoy it, starting with me. So I want to start and indicate that the second one here is called the Fab Five. And if you follow basketball, the Fab Five was the 5 best players from the University of Michigan. And we now have the best 5, not only from Florida Tech, but throughout the country. So we're going to get into this, and we're going to talk about the biosphere, and that's the whole Earth and all the ecosystems, plant, animal, and human. So we'll go on. We're reaching an incredible population condition. If you go back to 1 billion in 1802, we're now at almost, in 2036, 9 billion people. And so there's a lot of pressure, and we'll talk about what we can do about it. And the next slide talks about outer space congestion, and I call it orbital landfill. There, at the present time, 10 million pieces of orbital materials from satellites and every conceivable thing that are now in the position of blocking all kinds of things. So we have an orbital landfill that we have to deal with. Okay, space competition. The space competition issue right now are 3 countries. United States, you can see, Russia, and China. And all 3 are competing for land, space, and to get ensured that they are in a position of winning the space race. Yesterday, Musk indicated that he wants to put a flag on Mars for the United States. So that's what he's thinking, but there are a lot of things in the way that have to be done. But let's talk about the estimated global costs for 4 threats that have to be looked at: natural disasters, human disasters, climate change, and transportation gridlock. Those 4 have to be solved. And I don't care who's president, they have to be solved. And right now we're spending up to 15% of our GDP in trying to take care of these problems. But look what we have in the future. MIT says by 2040, the society may fail, our society. And then Club of Rome says by 2050, it may end. So the damage from climate change alone may be $38 trillion by 2050. And this is a financial cost we have to deal with. And the question is, how can we deal with it? There are only 4 countries in the world that have enough in their GDP to take care of this problem. 4 countries. The rest of the world cannot do anything. So we have to really look at this and see what we can do to make it better. And there's some things going on. Iceland has created a Climeworks, the largest in the world, and it's a digital CO2 air capture to store the CO2 in the rock structure below the soil, way down in the sea. But that's only one. There's one now called Stratos, which is being built, 66 acres in Texas. And Accidol is saying that they're going to build 100 plants in the world to take care of global warming. But this is a serious thing because these companies can't deal with a 1.2 centigrade increase. They have to bury the CO2 to ensure it's going to work. So this is a serious challenge to our way of life. But what is really interesting is there's now a methane sat that's looking at all methane in the world. And it just was launched in 2024. And it's the first time continuous monitoring of gas and oil fields worldwide can be done. And if you look at this data, it suggests that the orbit Earth is 15 times scanning the methane pollution. So this is a growth issue that we have to deal with. And people say, oh, it's cows. Got to deal with cows. So I put this down. It's not cows. 60% of the problem is methane coming from fuel and natural gas by all the way from mostly United States. So this is a problem we have to face. Now, we're going to change our vocabulary. And my word is the Greek word neoteric, which means new. And it basically means that we have to look at all 5 senses. And this is really important. I'll show that in 2 more screens. But the words are going to change. Land use is going away. Space use is coming in. Intermodal transportation is replacing modal transportation. And multisensory consig deals with S to the 5th, all 5 senses. And we've only been working with one sense, the sense of vision. The television, watching television, that's one sense. Though you do get some hearing, but a lot of you turn the hearing off because it's pretty undesirable most of the time. So we have a lot to look at in terms of, and the bottom one, sustainable green is being now replaced by resilient. We have to have a resilient economy in which we can succeed. Now this is interesting because the spatial biosphere is 3-dimensional. It's a cube. Now your property is a cube. But if you look at your deed, You have a one-dimensional deed, which deals with the surface. You don't have anything in the air rights, and you don't have anything subterranean. So what I want you to do is look at this and see X, Y, Z is a three-dimensional phenomena, and you look at your property as a three-dimensional phenomena. And I'll show you some pictures of the world's largest swimming pool, built 65 stories in the air, that's over 465 feet long. It's been built in Singapore. So we've done some crazy things in the past, and our spatial management concept, I started this at Georgia Tech. I was the first one in the United States to offer a course on spatial management. And on the left is a single-use water tower. And it doesn't have mixed use, multiple use, adaptive use, or joint use. But look at the one on the right. That's in Massachusetts. And that has a microwave relay, an observation deck, a museum, a restaurant, existing water tower, and it has 5 uses built into it. So we have to be more creative in terms of what we're doing. Now this is interesting because the Ponte Vecchio is about the oldest bridge in the world. I'm sure some of you have been there in Florence. It's over 600 years old, 600 years. Hitler decided not to bomb it during World War II. It was such a significant structure. And it connects, this bridge connects to the Uffizi, the very famous museum. And there's David on the right, who is in the Uffizi. And what this does is show this bridge has 5 uses. It's commercial because it has gills there, silver gills that go back to the 14th century. It has transportation because bicyclists and people can walk. It has residential because these are homes. They're permanent homes for the people who have gills. And there's recreation and utilities, all that in one bridge. Now, I was asked by a town in Ohio to see if I could build a modern-day Ponte Vecchio. I designed it, and they objected to it. It's not good, not good. So that's what we've done. But let's look at this next picture, because this is quite exciting. This is a Marine Bay Sands Hotel rooftop infinity pool that's 465 feet long. And you can go all to the crest of it and look down. You can't stand up. It won't permit that, but that's what they have. And that's in Singapore. They have 2,561 rooms, and they're going to add another 1,000. So this will be over 3,000 rooms for this place. And the last time I gave a lecture, a woman said, I couldn't afford to stay there, but I went over there and then got a pass to go up on the swimming pool. It is incredible. So that's what you can see on the swimming pool. Let's see if I can bring that up. That's the swimming pool right there. And it's amazing. So that's what I call rooftop master planning. And we're not doing it. We're not doing it. So that's what we need to do to have a resilient community. Now, the next is Kansai. Kansai says that we have 5 senses and we should use all 5 senses to design our cities. So that's visual, taste, aroma, vibration, and sound. Now, I've done 10 projects in the world where I've used at least 3 of those senses at one time. And we need to do that. We have blind architects who don't know anything about anything other than seeing, but not working with taste, aroma, vibration, and sound. And so that is a critical loss. Now, what I did on this next one, I created an intermodal transportation simulation, the first in the world. It was ranked as the 9th most important patent for the next 100 years. And we can, first of all, look at maglev, look at ships, look obviously at aircraft, look at cars, and we can bring it all together in a holistic, ecumenical picture of transportation. And we're not there, we're not doing it. And so that patent I do have, and I want to work on that, to have that at Florida Tech, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But before I talk about that, I want to talk about 9/11. 9/11 started with a parking garage on the left bottom. They tried to blow it up, and they couldn't. Then after that, they sent 2 attack 767s into the towers, and that did a good job. But what I want to do is, I put together in 4 weeks for President Bush, among others, what was done in this situation. And what I'll do is show you the next one. Why did they choose a 767? It's wider and it's higher. And it also has twice the gallonage. So they use a 767 holding 24,000 gallons in hopes they'd burn down the place, and they did a pretty good job. And their attack angle was shown here at the bottom. That's where they attacked in a profile. So they didn't go level to the ground. They went this way. So they knocked out several more floors. So that's the attack angle with the wingspan, tail section, and certainly fuel capacity. Now the next one I want to show you, I've got to bring this one up. I hope I can do that. Let's see if I can do it. I want to bring up the simulation, and I don't know which button to hit. Maybe I can get some help. It's this button here at the top. I want to get this button.
Yeah, can we have something, maybe? Do you know how to, this is the, are you trying to,
Yeah, I'll make this 3D so everybody can see it.
yeah, I'm not here for that.
And we've got to hit right there, hit that arrow.
What would you like me to do? He wants to make it 3D. I don't know what this does.
Well, I did it before.
Oh. Yeah, so that's not gonna do it. So you wanna try hitting that? Let's see. Span skin, no.
No, it's that little arrow. Hit the arrow. Okay, that's it.
Okay.
She used her hand.
I didn't know what this was.
But this is the first 3D ever done for transportation in the United States. And I did this for President Bush. And he had 7 factors he was looking at. Because this Metro Rapid Transit goes underneath the Supreme Court, underneath the Capitol, comes close to the White House, and it's a perfect place to blow up. So I did the analysis to show what were the problems, and this is the car. We looked at all the interior lights, compartments, and so forth. And I showed that to President Bush and his staff in a secure meeting, which he was amazed. And there have been more since that, but that was the first that was ever done. And I'm glad we're showing that one. And thank you, Joanne, for your finger. So this is a 3D view of one station, but it shows the complexity that's there. And where I'm going to go now is the next slide. Okay, this is exciting because I worked on maglev, which is magnetic levitation. It was invented by Dr. Damby and Dr. Powell at MIT in the 60s. And I was the one to work on the master plan for it. And we had a track, which you can see there. Let me see if I can show you the track. we went 3 places. It was 20 miles, Port Canaveral, Cocoa, up to the Space Coast Airport, and the Visitor Center at Kennedy Space Center. 20 miles. And we had it going, but then the Federal Rail Administration says, we're going to cancel all the work we're doing on these. So they canceled. Bingo. Now, the Japanese are smart. They said, why are you canceling? I want the intellectual property. So they negotiated with Danby and Powell, and they got it. Now, this is the Japanese system that is in operation. And it goes now at 320 miles an hour. Our Bright Line does 120. This is 320. And within a year, it will go up to 440 miles an hour. And the other thing is, there have been no fatalities in Japan in 30 years. And look how the number of fatalities we've had, including intentional fatalities where people wanted to die or lie down on the track. Unbelievable. Okay, the World Trade Center, let me go on here. We got lost. This is my fusion theater that I have a patent on, and I'd like to have a fusion theater at Florida Tech. I haven't been able to convince people with enough financial resources, but you'll see in the middle here is a track that goes the entire way at 360 degrees, and we can put trains, we can put planes, we can put cars, we can put anything. And that's what I want to do, but we haven't gotten the approval to do it. And it's 360 degrees with 5 real-time Kansai elements. So all 5 are in there, and that's what you see down here. Those are all 5. And they can be in it. Taste, vision, aroma. And I'm working with Roz Gatewood now because we want this to become a significant development that will change the way we do our work, and that will be great. Okay, how are we doing on time? Okay. This is a very important one because we're building the first 6th generation aircraft. And it's B-21, and it's going to be built here at MLB on 15 or 16.3 acres, employing, as you can see, 2,000 new employees, and we're going to build a number of these, and this will be the fastest stealth bomber in the world. So we're not fooling around, but we have to get there. Okay, what is one of the problems we have? We get $5.4 trillion of economic activity yearly, employing 31 million Americans. And they haul 95% of all cargo into the United States. And guess what the Chinese have done? The Chinese have put on their cargo, here, let me go back. They have these, and they're wired to Beijing, and they do AI on everything that comes off every ship in our port. This is the world's largest port in the United States. So 2 bills were passed. The important one was in February, and it said, initiative is to bolster the cybersecurity of ports and improve the nation's cybersecurity. That's what we've done. We've taken all these cranes out of our ports. They've been shipped back to China. but China has been trying to deal with this. Okay, I'm almost done. One of the big issues we need to look at is managing urban mobility, and that's artificial intelligence. Again, we signed, Trump signed an artificial intelligence, and he wants us to be the capital of artificial intelligence. Well, the positives is it's a facility complex and attributes that are important. It's compatible with real-time 3D, 5D. It assists in forensics and problem solving. It performs multiple variable analysis, and it's a sophisticated virtual tool to enhance communication. But look at the red. It requires a large-scale database. It's a high-risk database, virtually a vulnerability and security threat. And get ready for this. AI may exceed human intelligence, self-fulfilling, and total independence. And the fourth one is the most important. In time, AI can become an uncontrollable system that we cannot control. So this is a serious problem. We're almost done. A company called Nano Architects have been working on taking care of stage 5 conditions, and they've created with a special cement, nanocentric dwellings. They're heat resistant, water resistant, fireproof, tolerant, can be applied below 32 degrees, bonds to itself, no temperature cracking, hardening in 5 to 40 minutes, and cure time in 15 to 60 minutes. And the processing generates 1 ton of carbon per ton concrete, accounting for 9.5% of global emissions impacting our atmosphere. So we have to deal with it. And this leads to almost the end. Where there's no vision, people perish. That's a proverb from the Bible. Where there is vision, people are alive. And this is a book I wrote on transportation security that got a great review. So 2 more. The best way to plan for a resilient future is to create it. So we have a domain called resilientbiosphere.com. And the last one, they're starting a woven city in transportation mobility at the base of Mount Fuji. It's Toyota's phase 1, 175-acre, $10.13 billion project to be a living lab and a test for accelerating innovation for energy, mobility, people, and data. And what we want to have basically is eviation, electrical aviation. The last 2 slides just shows to work with people, you got to go all over the United States. I worked with Andy Young for 13 years, and we did the airport, we did the Presidential Parkway, and we did other projects. Congressman Lewis asked me to come up with a plan to raise the money by writing a bill 1 page long. He went down to Congress and got 100% for our United States. So that was really terrific. I worked with President Reagan when he was governor because he wanted to establish a noise ordinance for the state of California, and he wanted me to train all the people that are involved in highway patrol. I also did that for Boston. The Presidential Parkway, it was the first in the year, first ever done, and 2 others. These are 3 generals. They were in this room, 3 3-star generals. And after we did our session here, the Pentagon said, we will never allow 3 generals of the rank of 3 stars ever to come to a college in the United States. So that's the quality of what we've done. And lastly is Bush, working with him on the issue of intermodal transportation, and also ensuring we built the first intermodal center in the United States. And then I work with the president of Stephanos of Greece to help them with the 2024 Olympics. So this is things that I'm doing, and everybody should be doing something, not sitting on our hands. And this is the end. Thank you very much.
With some Q&A with Dr. Bragdon.
Yeah.
We've got Betty Lowe.
Clifford, you got any way we can access any of the information so we can see everything that you were talking about? It was a lot of really good information. I mean, is there a website? Well, there was one up there, but I didn't have time to get it.
They're going to film this, so they have film, and it's going to be on the
Resilient.
website for.
You'll see it on what
On the video.
will be on the video.
Okay,
but-
it was there to see it.
This is serious, and people didn't know it could be done, and we made it happen. And I had a team from a couple different universities working with me, and we blew up the Queen Mary. It took 6 months to make it, and we blew it up, everything about it. And I showed it to the Commodore of the Queen Mary, and he said, "This is impossible. We have security." I said, "You don't have the right security." So there's a lot of things we're doing, and we have to think about what we can do to make this a better place to live. And resilience is the key in all 4 areas: safety, security, health, and sustainability. If you lose one, you're in trouble. You got to do all 4. So that's what we're doing. Any other questions? Yes.
When the map you had about the maglev in Brevard County, was that just in the planning phase? Because I don't remember that happening.
No, it wasn't the plan stage. We built the track for it.
You did, okay.
And the FRA said, we're going to abandon all rapid
Before
transit
you really got to do it.
in the United States. And now Los Angeles is looking at going to San Francisco, but now you have a major problem with the forest and the
Right.
fire.
Yeah.
So we've done some good stuff, and we want to keep kicking. Yes, sir.
Dr. Bragdon, the technological innovations are just wonderful. In your experience, what are some of the people problems, working with human beings who don't understand each other, have resistance to change, that sort of thing? How do you solve that?
Good point. Trump just ensured that he vetoed the Paris Accord yesterday. And he vetoed it because there are 2 countries, Japan and Iran, that are doing most of the work on it. And this is, why is the United States spending all this money? We should share it. Let us get other people involved in it. So that's what his concern is. But then the governor, DeSantis, has passed a bill that nobody can talk about climate change or climate warming in the legislature. He censored it. So is he taking care of the problem? No. But he censored it. And that is absolutely embarrassing. Any other questions?
When you had that slide that showed Nano Architect, is that an existing corporation or is it a concept? And what I got out of it is it's obviously designed to, I'll put it this way, make almost foolproof structures if it can withstand a Category 5 hurricane. Is that something in the offing for building standards in the state of Florida?
Yeah, that's something we need to work on. And Roz Gatewood is pursuing that. Roz, you want to say something about that?
No, that particular company is actually, is alive, and they have been working on this technology. Actually, it was developed under FEMA many years ago. But they're very interested, they're trying to get it into California, especially with all the fires. And they're struggling, believe it or not, to get attention in the right places. And of course, with all the hurricanes we've had here, they're also very interested in coming to Florida, of course, which would be terrific. It's, obviously it's a fairly small company, and to get a lot of the certifications that they need for building, what have you, sometimes becomes an economic struggle, right? So we are looking for funding for them, but they certainly, this is a proven technology that was really developed under FEMA, and it's really has absolutely every attribute that Cliff shared. It has that in some. So if you have more information like that, you can certainly speak to me at the time to get.
A couple of times there have been programs like on 60 Minutes, and it's directed at the federal flood hazard program. And you've got people who have built and rebuilt and rebuilt and rebuilt.
Yeah, I work.
And we pay for it ultimately.
Exactly, and I have a friend right now who's lost his house 3 times in Tampa, 3 times. And the insurance company is not speaking to him. Will not return any calls. His bank is now saying, we have no choice but to sue the insurance company. It's mind-boggling. And there are solutions. And sometimes you wonder, who is putting the stop to allowing solutions that are real to take place? And that's a very troublesome answer oftentimes.
I do want to mention that we're doing a book on the biosphere with these 5 authors. And I'm looking now for a sponsor for the book. And if you have any ideas who might be interested, let me know, because we'd like to get this book on the shelf so people can really move towards solutions, and resilience is the answer. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
So you said before that the maglev track had been built. You mean like a test track, or do you mean actually the whole thing, and where is it if it's still here?
Where is what now?
The track for
The maglev has been put on hold, and the New York Times article after Danby and Powell died saying there's not going to be any more innovation in the maglev. And that's bad, because these two spent their life and they wanted to make it happen. We even went to a mine in Canada to show how maglev could go in the bottom of a mine in Canada. And we went down over 5,000 feet, and they were excited about that, but nothing has ever happened.
Well, I think part of her question was simply, is there a place we can go see the darn thing?
Well,
there's a little bit of it left, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
not much, but tiny, pretty much. I have to look it up, but I know where it is. It's a very small amount of chocolate.
yeah, there is some efforts, but right now, with the new administration, I don't know what will happen. But we want it to progress forward, because resilience is the only thing we can have to make our universe a better place in which to live. Yes, ma'am.
New topic. You were talking about the 5 senses, and one of them was aroma. And I didn't understand, is that to like sniff out bombs, or is it to make it smell like cinnamon cookies? Like, I didn't get what the aroma part had to do with it.
Just speaking of aroma and asking, she wasn't sure how was that executed
We-
in the atmosphere.
Yeah, we are looking at robots, and the Chinese and the Russians are looking at it at the same time, so we're not alone. But
Well, the Japanese.
we got to get moving.
Yeah, Japanese use it in their buildings, in their offices,
And so that during certain parts of the day, they use it in other countries, but they bring it so that you, at that slump in the afternoon when you feel like taking a little nap, they will send a scent in that will be more energizing to you. So it's obviously, yeah, I wish I had that, but I need to be energized all the time.
Yeah.
In the afternoon, I could use a little scent.
Well, we're still working on this in our new book, and as new things come out, we're putting that into the book so we can stay at the cutting edge. So we'll continue to do that.
The global theater is what we need.
Yeah, we really want the fusion theater. Just think if we had a fusion theater here that could hold 360 people for 360 degrees. Just think. And we use 5 senses. I mean, no one's done it, and we still have that opportunity. So I've been working with the president, but he has lots of other priorities. Let's say that.
We have some other technology. We can bring the fusion theater in through different VR experiences.
Right.
And we do have that opportunity.
So if you have ideas, let me know, and Joanne will give you our email and everything else.
You know, all this amazing freight that's coming in. How are we going to get it out of there when they're going to be underwater real soon, right? So someone's going to have to start to think about how we're going to.
Well, they had a similar problem in California because of all the freight that comes from China to the ports of Los Angeles and the port of Long Beach. And what they did was to construct a subterranean railroad. It's really built into the ground and has no top. And it takes it through the center of town out to the Inland Empire where they build the trains. And that's both the Union Pacific and the Santa Fe.
Well, we're going to have to think of something.
Right.
And I've been to several conferences in this discussion, and it just seems to go nowhere, and I don't know.
I'm not an engineer, but I would think that building a subterranean in Miami would be prohibited because of water. But it could be built above ground.
Exactly, that's what we keep saying.
Maybe a submarine.
Well, we're going to still work on it. I'm glad we're getting such an interest from the audience. And we could in the future have another program like this, but you have a program coming up with Winston Scott as the next one, and I hope you show up for that. And there'll be 3 more. And Dr. Cantonese, who is a former president, and Dr. Kluka, who is a biologist and a marine scientist. And then the present president will be the final speaker. So please think about this and keep being a part of it. We love it. Okay, Joanne.
I appreciate your support. I will stay in touch. I will communicate through email. Please share me any guests who you would think be interested. I'd love to have them as well. There's some refreshments left. Feel free to have a little something and chat. Thank you. And Dr. Bragdon, this is a little something from me to you.
Oh, my Lord.
I appreciate all that
Thank
you've
you,
done.
thank you, thank you. Appreciate it.